Have you ever made a decision and felt completely certain it was yours? What if I told you it wasn't? Throughout history, certain individuals have possessed a terrifying and fascinating ability, the power to bend the thoughts, beliefs, and actions of thousands, sometimes millions, of people. Not through force, not through weapons, but through words, timing, psychology, and an almost supernatural understanding of human nature. Today, we explore the story of the man who controlled minds. This is not fiction. This is history, and it is a warning. Before we talk about the man, we need to understand the weapon. The human mind is not the fortress we believe it to be. Psychologists have long established that our decisions are driven less by logic and more by emotion, fear, belonging, and identity. We want to be accepted. We fear being left out. We crave certainty in an uncertain world. And whoever offers us that certainty earns our loyalty. This is the foundation of mind control. Not science fiction laser beams or hypnosis wheels. Real mind control is far simpler and far more dangerous. It is the art of making someone feel understood, then slowly replacing their reality with yours. The technique has a name. Psychologists call it coercive persuasion. It works in stages. First, isolate. Then, overwhelm. Then, replace. You remove a person from their support system. You bombard them with new information and emotional highs and lows. And then you offer them a new identity, one that depends entirely on you. Sounds extreme? It happens every day. In cults, in toxic relationships, in political movements. And it happened on a massive scale with one of the most studied figures in modern history. His name was Jim Jones. Born in 1931 in Crete, Indiana, Jones grew up in poverty, surrounded by death and instability. From an early age, he was obsessed with religion, power, and the idea of building a perfect society. He was charismatic beyond measure. People who met him described feeling seen, heard, and valued in a way they had never experienced before. By the 1950s, Jones had built a church in Indianapolis, the People's Temple. And unlike most churches of the era, his doors were open to everyone. Black, white, rich, poor. He preached equality, community, and love. And people came by the thousands. But behind the sermons was a calculated mind at work. Jones studied the psychology of persuasion. He read about how Adolf Hitler commanded crowds. He studied communist leaders and evangelical preachers alike. He understood that people do not follow ideas, they follow feeling. And he engineered every service, every interaction, every speech to trigger the deepest emotional responses possible. He performed fake healings. He claimed divine powers. He created an us versus them narrative, his people against a corrupt and evil world outside. And slowly, gradually, the members of his congregation stopped trusting the outside world. They only trusted him. So how exactly does a person gain this kind of control? Let us break down the mechanics. The first tool is love bombing. When you first encounter a skilled manipulator, they shower you with attention, praise, and affection. You feel uniquely chosen, special. This creates a powerful emotional bond and a debt. You feel you owe this person your loyalty. The second tool is information control. Jones limited what his followers read, watched, and heard. He framed all outside sources as lies and enemies.
When you control what someone knows, you control what they believe. The third tool is fear. Once love is established, the manipulator introduces consequences for disobedience. Public shaming, social exclusion, the threat of losing the community you now depend on entirely. At this point, leaving feels more dangerous than staying. The fourth and perhaps most powerful tool is identity replacement. Over time, followers stopped thinking of themselves as individuals with their own histories and desires. They became members. Their identity was the group, and the group was Jones. This is not weakness on their part. This is human psychology at its most vulnerable. Researchers from Harvard, Stanford, and the American Psychological Association have all documented how these techniques to work on virtually anyone under the right conditions.
By the 1970s, Jones had moved his congregation to a remote compound in Guyana, South America. He called it Jonestown. He told his followers they were building a paradise, a utopia away from the corrupt United States. But Jonestown was a prison disguised as a paradise. Members worked from sunrise to sunset in tropical heat. Mail was monitored. Escape attempts were punished. Jones broadcast his voice over loudspeakers 24 hours a day, a technique now recognized as a classic tool of totalitarian control. When U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan flew to Jonestown in November 1978 to investigate reports of abuse, Jones made a decision that shocked the world. On November 18, 1978, over 900 people died in Jonestown. Most drank cyanide-laced punch. Some were injected. Some were shot trying to flee. It was the largest single loss of American civilian life before September 11, 2001. 918 people. Men, women, children. All because one man had spent decades building a system of psychological control so complete that even in death, his voice was the loudest in the room. Now here's the question you need to sit with. Could this happen today? Not only could it happen, it is happening. The tools have simply changed. Social media algorithms are engineered to trigger the same emotional responses Jones triggered in his sermons. Outrage, fear, the longing, identity. The us versus them narrative is more powerful today than at any point in human history. And the leaders who understand this, political, religious, commercial, are wielding it with precision. So how do you protect yourself? First, be suspicious of anyone who makes you feel uniquely chosen, uniquely right, or uniquely threatened. Manipulation always begins with emotion, not evidence. Second, protect your information diet. Seek out sources that challenge your existing beliefs. A mind that only confirms what it already thinks is a mind being controlled. Third, maintain your outside relationships. Isolators always attack your connections to family, friends, and independent communities. Those connections are your lifeline. Fourth, ask the question, who benefits? Behind every movement, every message, every campaign of fear or love is a person or a system that gains something from your agreement. Find out what that is. And fifth, think slowly. The greatest weapon against manipulation is patience. Emotional decisions made in moments of fear or elation are the easiest to engineer. Sleep on it. Question it. Own your mind deliberately. Jim Jones did not control minds through magic. He controlled minds through a masterful exploitation of our deepest human needs: the need to belong, to believe, and to be safe.
The most powerful thing you can do in a world full of voices competing for your loyalty is to know yourself deeply enough that you recognize when someone else is trying to become you. Your mind is the last sovereign territory you will ever own. Guard it. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Knowledge is the only armor that never rusts. I will see you in the next one.